Dubro Suspicion Files.
You know, while some of the world's wealthiest people are fixated on shooting for the stars and going to space, there's this other, equally powerful group that's going in the exact opposite direction, deep, deep underground. So let's dive into this growing trend of billionaire survival bunkers. It's a phenomenon that tells us a whole lot about our own anxieties right now, and even more about their pretty exclusive vision for what's coming next. I mean, that's a big question, right? When the people who have access to the best information and the most resources on the planet start building fortresses, you kind of have to ask what they think is just over the horizon. Are they seeing something we're not? Is it climate collapse, another pandemic, massive civil unrest? What is it? Okay, let's start with a name we all know, Mark Zuckerberg. $270 million. That's the estimated price tag for his massive 1,400-acre compound out on the Hawaiian island of Kauai. And just to put that number in perspective for you, that is more than the entire GDP of some small countries. And hidden somewhere on that massive property is this, a 5,000 square foot underground shelter. Now, that's not just a storm cellar. That is the size of a very, very large luxury home, and it's all buried under the ground. But honestly, the size isn't even the most revealing part. No, this is. The shelter has a blast-resistant door. You don't build a door like that for a hurricane or a bad storm. A door made of concrete and steel is designed for one thing, to withstand the shockwave from a massive explosion. This one detail tells you everything you need to know about the kind of threat they're actually planning for. All right, so let's take a closer look at the blueprints for these modern-day castles. Because this isn't just about hiding out for a little while. This is about outlasting absolutely everyone else in total, complete self-sufficiency. The Cool Out Ranch is basically a masterclass in what experts call autarky, which is just a fancy word for complete economic independence. We're talking about a huge independent water tank, its own food source from ranching and farming on the property, and even an underground tunnel system that connects two giant mansions right to that shelter. Now, publicly, it's been downplayed as just a little shelter, but the specs, they scream that this is a closed-loop system designed to operate completely off the grid forever. But look, a single fortress on one island isn't the whole picture. The real strategy here is global. It involves some pretty complex legal maneuvering, and in some cases, even buying a whole new citizenship, all to lock down a sovereign space far, far away from any potential chaos. And just in Hawaii, you can see two totally different playbooks. You've got Zuckerberg's fortress model, where he uses these aggressive legal tactics called quiet title lawsuits to basically erase the ancestral land claims of local families and clear out his perimeter. Then you have Oracle founder Larry Ellison's approach, which you could call the feudal model. He just bought 98% of the entire island of Lanai, so he controls the land, the water, the food, and the housing for all 3,000 residents. One guy isolates from society, the other guy just owns it. So if Hawaii is like a regional fortress, then New Zealand is seen by the global elite as the ultimate sanctuary. Think about it. It's totally isolated from nuclear hotspots, it's got a stable government, and it can grow enough food for a population 8 times its current size. It's basically the planet's backup hard drive. And the perfect example of this strategy is tech billionaire Peter Thiel. He wanted a slice of that New Zealand paradise. But there were these pesky laws about foreigners owning land. So, was the solution to follow the rules? Nope. It was to change his status. Now get this. Despite spending only 12 days in the country, when the requirement is over 1,300, his citizenship was fast-tracked. Nationality basically became a business transaction. And it unlocked the ultimate prize, a massive estate to build his own apocalypse-proof hideaway. So what is going on inside their heads? What's the ideology that's driving all of this? Because this isn't just simple fear. It's a very specific worldview, a whole philosophy of exit that justifies just separating yourself from the fate of everyone else. Thiel's own words give us a pretty big clue. His view of the future isn't one where we all work together or share in prosperity. No, it's a future where the smartest, most logical investment you can make is a secure, resource-rich, and totally isolated escape hatch. A lot of this thinking can be traced back to this one book from 1997 called The Sovereign Individual.
The core idea is that technology is going to make countries as we know them totally obsolete, and this new cognitive elite is going to break away from society. They'll stop being citizens of a country they owe loyalty to and instead become customers of jurisdictions. They'll shop around for the best services. So from that point of view, building a private fortress isn't crazy paranoia. It's the next logical step. It's the physical act of seceding from a system you see as failing.
And this exit mentality runs deep in Silicon Valley. The CEO of OpenAI, Sam Altman, he has a pact with Peter Thiel to just fly to New Zealand when things get bad. He's also got a go bag ready. And just look at what's in it. Potassium iodide for nuclear fallout, military-grade gas masks for biological warfare, and gold for when regular money is worthless. This isn't your standard earthquake kit, folks. This is prepping for the literal end of the world as we know it. But there's a fatal flaw in all this high-tech, meticulous planning. A giant blind spot that all the money in the world can't easily fix. The human element. The very people you'd need to make it all work. So this is the exact question that a media theorist named Douglas Rushkoff was asked when he met with a group of these billionaire preppers. They told him they had solved for food, for water, for air filtration, for everything. But they were completely stumped by this. What stops your highly trained security force from taking over the bunker for themselves the second your dollars become worthless paper? And the solutions they brainstormed are, frankly, terrifying, and they reveal so much. They actually discuss things like disciplinary shock collars to enforce orders, or maybe just eliminating the human variable entirely with robotic guards. Or, and this one is chilling, the warlord model, where you essentially hold a guard's family inside the bunker with you as collateral. It just shows this profound distrust in the very human bonds they would desperately need to actually survive. And make no mistake, this has become a booming industry. You can get anything you want, from the nearly $10 million aristocrat model that comes with its own bowling alley and gun range, to entire communities of smaller bunkers built in old munitions depots. There is a huge, formalized market that caters to every possible level of doomsday luxury. This is so far beyond a niche hobby. Okay, so what does it all mean? When we zoom out from the concrete and the steel and the escape plans, what does this trend really tell us about where we're all headed? Because when it comes right down to it, this isn't about personal safety. Every single dollar that gets invested in a private escape hatch is a dollar that's not being invested in fixing the very problems that make them feel like they need an escape hatch in the first place. Problems like climate change, inequality, political instability. It is an active financial bet against a shared future. What we're really witnessing here is what you could call a severance of fate. It's this core belief that with enough money and enough technology and enough geographic distance, you can literally decouple your own destiny from the rest of humanity's. You can just build a world where the consequences that affect everyone else simply don't apply to you. And that really leaves us with this final, incredibly important question. In a way, the bunker boom is a self-fulfilling prophecy. By pulling their immense resources and brainpower out of the public square and pouring it all into private survival, the most powerful people on Earth might just be accelerating the very collapse they're so afraid of. So what kind of a world are we actually building when the architects are already designing their own emergency exits?